Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on how to auto digitize, specifically in Hatch Embroidery 3. So to start off, there's a few ways on how to import a picture to have it here. What we can do is we can click on designs and then find an image that we have downloaded onto the computer from there, or click on artwork here, and then there's already some preloaded artwork in the computer itself, kind of on Hatch Embroidery. Or the third option I think is going to be the easiest, is going to be dragging and dropping from your desktop, and then you'll have the image here pretty quickly. So as the image is still this full size, you'll notice it's about 21 inches. Now how you do that, you just kind of hover right over this corner. This whole image is about 21 inches wide. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and highlight this image first. So it's highlighted, and I'll know it's highlighted by when these little dots appear around the perimeter. We're going to click on this Auto Digitize here in the toolbox option on the left, and then we're going to click the second button here, which is Auto Digitize Instant Embroidery. We're not going to mess with this today. We're going to click this first one here. So as soon as we click that, it's going to give it a few seconds, and it's going to digitize this photo. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to delete the backdrop here. We're going to right click anywhere on the back of this. We're going to go ahead, right click, delete that. So now it's just this image. Now, since auto digitizing isn't perfect, we have to come in here and make some edits. So first thing we'll see is this little star is supposed to be red, and then this star and this star is a different texture and different type than the rest of everything. So firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead over to edit here on the top left of your screen, and then we're going to come down to and click this option. It says object properties. Now it has here a whole taskbar with a bunch of little stuff. So what we're going to do here, we're going to highlight this whole thing, and then under stitch type and fill, I like to use this one for about everything I like to do. It is the most cleanest in my opinion. So once I click that, it's going to give it a couple seconds, and then we'll see these stars are now the same texture. We're going to click away from the screen, and then we're going to right click that little star, and then we're going to click the colors. So here you'll see the colors on the bottom of your screen. Sometimes it'll show you all the different types of colors. What you can do is just click hide on the bottom right of your screen, and it's going to show you just the options that are on your digitizing image. Now, second issue we have here is going to be we have 5 colors selected when we should only have 3. So what we can do here is to make it a little bit easier to see, I'm going to go ahead and click away from this. We're going to click the black, and then I'm going to open that back up, and I'll go for, let's say, gray, just to kind of change the color and try to see where all these little imperfections are at. So now I'll go ahead and zoom in, and I can right click on this. I can delete that option, and then we'll see another little thing here. We're going to go ahead and right click it, delete it, and we're going to go around the whole picture, deleting it. Now, if you don't get every single speck, that's okay. When you're going to be embroidering it on it with your machine, you can just skip that color, and then you won't have any issues with that. But I like to, if I can, try to just save some time and just kind of delete these right away, because again, sometimes the auto digitizing option isn't perfect, so you have to come in here and kind of manually delete some of these options here. But it's still a very good tool, especially when you're just starting out and trying to figure out how to learn the system. So again, this will just be part 1. In part 2, I'm going to go more into depth on stitching type and more options like that. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and then we'll go ahead and delete this last one. Now, as we kind of deleted everything, I still see we have 4 colors when we should only have 3. So I do have one little color sitting somewhere that I'm not exactly sure where, and that's okay. And then just kind of taking a second look, maybe I can find it somewhere, but if not, that's totally okay. We're going to go ahead and now this image is cleaned up and digitized. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do as well is we're going to go ahead and highlight this whole image again. And then what I like to do is mess with the spacing a little bit on the stitching. You'll see that under this fill option here, and then come down to spacing. Now this is going to be how far apart each stitch is from each other. I like to go down to 0.014, especially kind of on a design like this. Also, if I do a little test and it doesn't seem as filled in, I can go down a little bit more, even down to 0.012. Now, second thing is what we're going to want to do is going to be going into stitching and then compensation. Now, what compensation will do is, if you look at this line here, when the blue is stitching, instead of stopping right here, it'll go a little bit past here, and then it'll go a little bit farther here. Same with the red. It'll go a little bit past this line here, just making sure that there's no empty spots. So let me add a lot of compensation to it, and then you guys will be able to see what it does exactly. So here I added 0.05 of compensation, and then you can kind of see it's a little bit more here, but if I increase it here a lot, you'll see each color is quite a bit thicker. So you can see almost all the stars are gone, almost all the red is gone, and this border is really thick. So that's making the stitch really wide. We do not want it that wide, so I like to go 0.012 is going to be, in my opinion, kind of the best. Now what also I just saw, I see these two little spots here. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and delete those two. Oops. Go ahead and right click this little thing here. We're going to go ahead and right click that. I'm going to delete it. And then there was one more up here somewhere that I thought I saw first, right here. We'll right click that, delete it. And then now we only have 3 colors, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So now we've digitized the picture and we're almost ready to be going onto an embroidery machine. So the next step is going to be doing an export. So we're going to go ahead and click export. Now we're going to want to make sure that the save as type is going to work for our machine. I have a Brother embroidery machine, so the brother.pes is the one that I need. But if you need to change that, you'll go ahead and click that, and then they have a bunch of different options here on what to choose. But my machine needs that file type in order to work. And then I'll go ahead and rename this so I can see it easier in my embroidery machine. I'll go ahead and click that. I have a little USB stick that it saves it to. I pull that out and then put it into my embroidery machine. So that is how you auto digitize a picture using Hatch Embroidery 3. Now in part 2, we're going to go a little bit more in depth on the pulling compensation and other options like the different stitch type and the different patterns and spacing. So go ahead and tune in that for part 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.